It's Wednesday evening. It's time for the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video, Weather for Weather Geeks. We are now into the Canfield Fair, and the forecast is all important, whether you're heading to the fair or not. If you're going to be doing anything outdoors over the next few days, you'll of course want to stay tuned to the end of this video as we talk about both the short-term and the medium-range forecast, as usual in this video. And if you watched last evening's video, we talked about a really poorly modeled line of thunderstorms emerging from Michigan, going across Lake Erie and towards northeast Ohio and northwest PA. Our short-range weather models really did not have a good handle on this all day yesterday until the very last minute, until it was obvious this was going to at least partially make its way into northeast Ohio and northwest PA. Thankfully, not too many severe weather reports outside of a few instances right along the lakeshore as this pushed east. Yes, we had some gusty winds. The wind gust at the airport was around 40 miles per hour. We had some 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, especially along the outflow boundary, which, kind of outran the showers a little bit. So it got really windy for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes out ahead of the line of showers, which decayed pretty rapidly as we got into the mid to late evening on our Tuesday. And then for our Wednesday, we had some kind of debris clouds around for a time today that prevented the temperature from getting as hot as it could have, at least at the airport officially, 88 this afternoon. The record on today's date, 1948, it was 96. Now, records were broken in other locations across eastern Ohio and western PA today, including down in New Philly. A few other locations set some new records once again today. It's been a week full of records in at some climate reporting sites across our region in general. Now, at the Youngstown Warren Airport, only one 90-degree day thus far this week, but it's been hot. 89 on Monday, 92 yesterday, and 88 today. Now, for the month as a whole, it's ending up being a very typical month of August. We're going to finish the month probably a little above average. Right now, we're just a shade below average, but with the warmth that's coming over the next 3 days, I suspect that the number will work out, that we'll be a couple of tenths of a degree warmer than average for the month when it's all said and done. Now, we have had a low-end risk for severe weather outlined by the Storm Prediction Center. We've been talking about it ourselves, but it really hasn't materialized. There's just enough of what we call a cap, of course, above our heads, warming of the air as you go up a few thousand feet, and that prevents cumulus clouds from rising too tall. We have had some beefy thunderstorms south of Interstate 70, down into parts of West Virginia, extreme southern PA as well, and there's one little band of showers and storms as of this recording moving through Detroit. But aside from a renegade sprinkle or a shower here in the short term, maybe even close to the Canfield Fairgrounds here in the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to be largely dry, it looks like, for the evening and the overnight tonight. Now, we do have a cold front that's easy to spot off to our north. There's not much cold air with it, but there is a drop in the dew points up across Canada, especially, and across northern New England. Now, unfortunately for us, this front's going to really kind of fizzle out and hit the brakes over the next 24 hours, so we're not expecting an appreciable change here locally until another cold front, a different cold front, arrives on Saturday. So yes, this front will technically pass through the area tonight into tomorrow morning, but only a modest change in both the moisture content of the air and the actual temperatures expected for our Thursday. A noteworthy sunset on this Wednesday evening. It will be officially in Youngstown anyway, exactly 8 p.m., making it our last 8 p.m. or later sunset until the middle of April in 2025. I think it's April 13th. The next time we'll have an 8 o'clock or later sunset. In just a week, we're back to 7:49, and coming up in 3 weeks on September 18th, the sunset will be at 7:25. So, I've been talking about this occasionally of late. It really gets to be noticeable in the evenings, especially at this time of the year, that the days are in fact getting shorter. Now, as that front sinks in from the north tonight, there will be some kind of coalescing of the temperature and the dew point. In other words, the air will get pretty saturated overnight, and that will allow perhaps for some fog formation overnight. So watch for reductions in visibility tonight into our Thursday morning. Otherwise, as that front stalls to our south, not much is going to happen on Thursday weather-wise. I'm not going to be able to rule out a late day shower or a thunderstorm as this front tries to wiggle back north just ever so slightly, but it's a small chance. There's probably a somewhat better chance of a few raindrops down towards Interstate 70, but if you're heading to the fair Thursday evening for dinner, perhaps, if you're unlucky, you'll get under a quick downpour, but that's a pretty small chance, I think, at this point. This front will then kind of fizzle out or kind of coalesce into a warm front lifting back northward on Friday, and we're right back to 90 Friday afternoon. Speaking of Friday afternoon, we're going to have the heat, we're going to have the humidity. Not going to have much of a trigger just yet because the cold front's really not going to cross the area until Saturday afternoon. But Friday evening for high school football, we do have that chance of a passing shower or a thunderstorm as well. But until our actual trigger arrives, and that's our front on Saturday, rain chances will stay on the spottier side, I think, for a lot of Friday late afternoon into the evening. Right now we're going to put it at about a 30 to 40% chance of any one location seeing raindrops. Lightning delays, I don't think especially likely at this point. Any showers could be accompanied by some lightning, but chances of lightning will decrease as we head towards 7, 8, 9 p.m. And it's kind of the same idea, I think, for the daylight hours on Saturday. There's going to be showers around. There could be some lightning and thunder, but I don't think it's a slam dunk that there's going to be a whole lot of lightning and thunder with our raindrops on Saturday. You know the cool down's coming, of course, as we head into the weekend, especially Sunday and into Monday. This is the longer range outlook, so beyond the holiday weekend and taking us into the second week of September. Pretty neutral looking pattern, and what I mean by that is I expect a lot of pretty average temperatures here in early September once we get rid of kind of a, or not get rid of, but once we shake some of the late September-like cool that we'll have for a few days from Labor Day into next week. We're going to see a lot of upper 70s, I think, for daytime highs during that second week of September, and that's about par for the course for that time of the year. Coming up on Thursday on Weather for Weather Geeks, providing we don't have a whole lot in the way of active weather, and I don't think we will. Of course, we'll take more looks at the weekend, but we'll probably do a little bit more of a fall preview with meteorological fall or autumn starting late this weekend on Sunday. Sunday's the 1st, right? Yeah. So a new season, meteorologically speaking, coming our way before the weekend is through. So we'll talk a little bit about it on Thursday. We might hold off as far as doing a full fall forecast, if you will, until Labor Day on Monday. I am working on Monday, so we might do that video Monday evening. So look for some fall chatter Thursday evening and maybe a full forecast coming up on Monday. And of course, we'll have much more to say about rain chances for anyone who has outdoor plans, including, of course, going to the Canfield Fair coming up Thursday evening on Weather for Weather Geeks. By the way, if you're heading to the fair Friday, I will be there. In fact, our entire weather team, with the exception of Chris, it'll be me, Jimmy, Andrew, and Jody. We will be at the tent, at the WFMJ tent, underneath the grandstand from 10 to 2 on Friday. You can look for our evening team, Dana, me, Madison, Derek, Aaron, from 10 to 2 on Saturday. So we'll have the lunchtime crowd Friday and Saturday. Hope to see many of you there at the Canfield Fair here in 2024. Always a good time meeting our viewers and followers on social media in person at the Canfield Fair. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night. I'll see you back here on Thursday.